and he's playing so incredibly patiently, and there's the GG right there. I mean, the patience from Drunken Boy in that, not overcommitting, trying to just slowly move in, slowly deny bases, and expand behind it. And what is Seeing Red to do there? He was just being bled out, losing so many infestors to just mines, and that is just huge losses for him.
Yeah, I mean, once if you want to exit that game, thanks.
Sorry about that.
If just a lot of times I think if he would have just been able to just gather some of his forces a little better, he kept rallying into the attacking army, so just he would lose stream upon stream upon stream of units without even really being able to do anything.
That's right. So Seeing Red does go out of that match. He will be replaced by StarCraft Ascension's player Estrella. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If
Looks
not,
good to
please
me.
correct me in chat. Estrella is defined by his team as a typically underrated player in both professional and amateur scenes, and his builds again tend to be unique from what the standard is at the time. So we do see a lot of players from StarCraft Ascension boasting that they try and do things that people don't usually see, and even in that last game, heavy Ling Infestor play, which is somewhat common, but you don't see it nearly as often as you used to.
Absolutely, and now we're going to be moving into our next game, which is going to be a Terran versus Protoss. Score now 4-1 for YMCMB after StarCraft Ascension came out the first game, got their only win so far. YMCMB Drunken Boy coming out looking like he's in an all-kill situation as he's won 4 in a row now. We're in an ace match, so if YMCMB's Drunken Boy is able to win one more game, he closes this out. But
Absolutely.
Estrella may want to put a bit of a kink in that. We'll see what happens as we go into this game.
That's right. Estrella has so much pressure at this point, he has to win this game.
Yeah, we just want to take a second to thank our sponsor, Das Keyboard, who's going to be providing 5 keyboards for the winning team in this league. Great to see that support coming out. Do give them a tweet at Das Keyboard. Say thanks for supporting SC2CTL. Also follow at WingNetSC, at Galligation. Let us know what you thought of the cast and matches tonight. We think there's some pretty awesome matches. We're happy to have you here with us. And also follow at SC2CTL for updates on the league and future updates on casts. We'll be here Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time throughout the remainder of the league. We're going to be in the last week of group stage right now, so after this week is over, we'll be moving into the playoff bracket, which will be super exciting.
Yes, super excited about that. We will be able to do some more fun things with the teams as the number of teams remaining in the tournament do dwindle. We'll be able to cast virtually the entirety of the games once it gets to a certain point, and be able to get a lot more interaction with the teams that remain. All the teams have been incredibly helpful and manner in us contacting them and being super supportive of the cast. And so we just want to give a great big shout out to all the teams that are playing. Thank you so much for being super cool and being super awesome at this game. It's been a lot of fun to cast.
It has been, and since there's a couple questions in chat, this is a best of 9 series King of the Hill format. So YMCMB been out for 4 games in a row now as he's won 4 times. So once a player comes out, they play until they lose. So Drunken Boy on a run here. It's going to be 4-1 in favor of YMCMB. It requires 5 to win, so they do need one more, and we will find out if he can pull it out as we move into this game.
Game resumed.
And in the lower left-hand corner from StarCraft Ascension, it's going to be the player that is going to try and put his team back on the map after losing 4 in a row. It is Estrella, wearing the pink trunks. It takes a man to wear pink.
In the top right corner of the map, we have Young Money. Cool Money? Is that what it is? I keep using
Young
it.
Money, Cash Money, Billionaires.
Cash Money. Thank you. Whew. At any rate, it is Drunken Boy, and he is looking at an all-kill situation. He's got to be feeling good, after coming off these games, but you have to wonder, after playing so many games in a row, what's his endurance looking like? Does he have what it takes to close out these matches? He's got to be feeling drained.
If that last game is any evidence at all, his endurance is huge. But it's got to come to an end sometime. But he is, both these players are Grandmaster, so, and I believe fairly high ranked as well. Drunken Boy, honestly, as a Protoss, I am not a huge fan of Terran, and Ibo Newman is going to just, if he could fly here to the United States to smack me, I'm sure he would, because he's a Terran fanboy himself. But it has just been so much fun to watch Drunken Boy play. His control is amazing, his unit compositions are just awesome, and his positioning is second to none.
I can't agree more. He's just been playing so commandingly in these games. There's been a few times where it seems like he's on his back foot, but he never panics. And that's what is really interesting to watch is that he is very controlled and patient in where he puts his units. He tries to make the best trades that he possibly can and only attack when it feels like it favors him.
Yeah, and he's actually been really cautious in using drops. He uses them in very appropriate situations where you see, as you know, the last game as it got to about the 30-minute point. You take the MVPs, the Marine King Primes of the world. They would be moving out and 4-prong dropping everywhere. And Drunken Boy, whether he chooses that style or not because he feels uncomfortable with it, looks like there's actually 4 workers in the gas here. He uses it very appropriately. So when he does, it works for him. He doesn't. You can, excuse me, just as easily lose a game by overdropping in that phase as you can secure yourself a win by doing it. So it's been interesting to see him utilize that quite efficiently.
And it's such a strong play for Terran at this point in the game. We've been seeing a lot of that play throughout the tournament, and I can't disagree with it. It's super strong. It allows you the time directly to macro back at home, to get your tech up, to get other units, and to put yourself in a commanding lead. However, you do have to be careful, just like you were saying. You can easily lose that stuff. We do see a Reaper now heading across the map.
Drunken Boy going to be wanting to put down his expansion here as he's saving up 400 and putting it down at his natural. Reaper's going to come in and scout everything, not see anything too crazy as the Mothership Core is about to pop out, so that's going to put an end to the Reaper's reign. He's going to try and get one probe kill here, but actually gets that Reaper a little too deep in enemy territory and ends up losing it. But Estrella scouts his opponent's natural there. Oh, but the supply depot was down, so he's going to be able to get in to see everything that's going on.
Which is mainly the gas timing at this point.
We do just want to say a big thank you for joining us this evening. This is the StarCraft 2 Community Team League, and we're so glad you're here with us. It would not be the same without you, and we see the viewer count has dropped a bit, as I'm sure Day 9 has just gone live, so thanks to those of you who are sticking with us to see this huge match out. It's been an amazing match so far. It is 4-1 right now. Drunken Boy trying to take the win for his team, but does Estrella have something to say about it? We will see. Robo coming down for Estrella now as his expansion finishes, so going to be going into the Robo play. We have seen a lot. This is actually a fast Robo for the PvT we've seen so far. Usually it's more of a Stargate or something of that manner, so maybe fast Colossus, maybe some Sentry Immortal.
And we only see the second gateway coming out down just now, and one Sentry going out. You've got to wonder, how much he hopes to accomplish with that Sentry. He will be able to force field off the ramp into his main, but he isn't going to be able to protect his natural with that.
It's like it's going to be an Observer coming out as Long in chat says, maybe it's because I'm rapidly stabbing my Terran voodoo doll. I'm not sure even that would hold Drunken Boy back. He's shown some amazing play these games so far, so it's going to take a lot more than stabbing the Terran voodoo doll to put a hankering on him.
And we do see that medevac getting made now from the starport.
Oh, and we do have an announcement by Troy in chat. If you go to sc2ctl.com/code, we have broken a new viewership record on SC2CTL tonight. Previous record was about 402. We were well over 550, 560. So we get a bonus code tonight for those prizes, and it is new record, all one word, lowercase.
So thanks for joining us and sticking with us. You will get an extra chance at that Charizard card and energy and ice cream.
So we've
discounts.
got a medevac moving across the map. Stim is just started now for Drunken Boy. He's boosting into the main of Estrella. See what he can get done. He's going to be dropping right on top of that Mothership Core. Is he going to have reaction time enough to get that? Oh, Photon Overcharge down just in time. So that is going to hold this off and help a little bit. But he could have just as easily killed that Mothership Core if he would have been paying not quite as much attention. Oh, but there is going to be a mine going down. There's an Observer right over it. So just going to be able to take out that Stalker.
But great play. Oh, Drunken Boy does scan to try and take out that Observer, but he is taking some losses trying to do it.
Oh my gosh, great control by those sentries to micro back and not lose a single one to those 3 Marines. That was amazing control, especially with the Guardian Shield down to give it a little bit of extra armor. It looks like Estrella is going to be wanting to take a 4th base here as he's setting up a pylon, or sorry, a 3rd base. As he's setting
Estrella
up a pylon.
right on top of that forge too. As soon as it finished, he got that ground armor level 1 down and started chrono boosting it. He knows what he's going for. He is gunning for it. Robotics Bay just finishing up, and Colossus in production as well.
He's chrono boosting the heck out of that thing too. He wants that Colossus out right now. His 3 Marines with a medevac going to be moving in up front just to poke and see what's there. Going to see enough to cause a problem for him, but he's going to load up and possibly try and go around the back. But Estrella's got his number, I think. He senses something coming. He's going to have his army right there real quickly to stop that, but he's just going to take the advantage to kill this pylon here that's just hanging out. Stim about to finish now, so... Oh, there's a drop going on in the main base as well, but Photon Overcharge does go down to hold that off. The medevac gets out only with 3 hit points, so that was real close to going down as well.
And you gotta wonder if this isn't the game where exactly what we were just talking about is happening, where these drops aren't being as effective as he's losing more than he's actually gaining in terms of ground space.
I think Estrella have been watching the past games knowing, you know, that this 8 to 12 minute point has been the point where Drunken Boy has been really focusing more heavily than not on the drops. So, I mean, he got that Roboway really fast, and he got that Observer really fast out of that robotics facility. So he's been on top of everything that's going on. He's been on top of the mines that have dropped, haven't really done much damage. So maybe Estrella paying attention to the last games and taking a note out of the playbook of his teammates.
Definitely trying to benefit from his teammates' loss.
4 Marines here now splitting out up front to see what's going on. Possibly check for any proxy pylons. 2 moving down each side. It's an interesting little spread here.
It looks like he is just trying to take out any potential scouts as he's moving his army across. He doesn't want this push to be seen. But there is a Colossus, 2 Colossus now at the front of the ramp, or the front of the natural.
Yeah, +1/+1 going down for Drunken Boy. Blink coming down as well for Estrella, so he's gonna, with those Colossus, want to get that blink down with his Stalkers to be able to blink ahead and catch any out of position Vikings.
I love this play by Drunken Boy, where he puts a single Marine out to bait the army forward and then moves in on the other lane with the rest of it. And, you know, Estrella almost took the bait. He sent a single Zealot up at first and almost got caught off guard, but Drunken Boy moves back just a little bit. And we're going to engage here. Colossus getting first shots.
Oh, nice load up. Nice.
Up.
He's going to drop in the...
Oh, and there's just Stalkers there. They were just there.
Yep. Estrella has Drunken Boy's number this game. Let me tell you what. He's thwarted almost every attempt for Drunken Boy to really get anything done this game. And because of it, Estrella may be behind in the food count, but his army strength is growing very rapidly. Nice force fields there to trap out some of those units so he's not able to pick them up. And Estrella making a nice little play there, but he is going to be supply blocked here for a few minutes as a couple pylons are taken out. Does have one in the back here. It looks like these units are on an attack move path that is going to find it and take it out. But also Drunken Boy's third base down now as Estrella trying to put down his couple units there to scout it, but the Stalkers now have blink here in about 10 seconds, so he's going to be a lot more mobile on the map with those and being able to catch anything out of position.
That's right.
Templar
Archives are going down now, and Vikings are coming out as he is seeing those Colossus and does not want to get punished by them.
You know, the big difference I see right now in this game is in every single game before, Drunken Boy has gotten so much done with his mobile army and his medevacs and his drops that his medevacs have almost been at 0 energy the entire game. But if we look at Drunken Boy's army, his medevacs are almost at full energy. Which just goes to, I mean, even the bar is going off of this one now, showing that it's full. But the thing is, though, that with the Templar Archives coming down now, with those medevacs at such huge energy, if he can get a couple big feedbacks off, that will nullify the healing power of Drunken Boy entirely.
And Estrella also is continuing to put this pylon down at what could be a 4th base. It's been picked off maybe 3 times now, but it's been incredibly utilitous for him as Drunken Boy likes to kind of stage some army right there. And so every time he gets a little bit of an army there, he can see it. He does lose the pylon, but he sees the army and he's able to kind of move to intercept somewhat.
Oh, this is going to be great positioning for Estrella as he's got the Stalkers there. If those Vikings come out of position at all, he can blink in and snipe probably 2 or 3 before the army's able to come back and get it. But the Colossus...
Small bio unit is moving in towards the natural now. And Zealots are there to deal with it, but those Marauders with the concussive shells are just giving them a really bad day.
Yeah, he doesn't have charge yet. But it's going to be finishing up here real soon. So is Storm, so Estrella... given an act of God here from Drunken Boy, given that extra 30 seconds he needed, as Drunken Boy is going to move in and be able to kill a few of these Stalkers, but Oh my gosh, the army of Estrella is going to be so strong here. Now he's got 4 Templars with Storms. Going to be moving up with these Stalkers, get 1 medevac, possibly 2. Oh, nice boost. He does get 2nd medevac, but the 3rd one is weakened, so Estrella just getting so strong here. Drunken Boy is almost at max, but Estrella's army is so much stronger than Drunken Boy's, and he knows that. He's pulling back now.
You're absolutely right. The upgrade tab looks, I mean, they're fairly similar upgrades, but Terran does have the armor, or I'm sorry, Protoss does have the armor upgrade, and Drunken Boy is just moving on both lanes of the map. He's really trying to do similar plays we saw before, where he's trying to attack in multiple positions at once, trying to pull armies in multiple directions, and Estrella is just sending units to intercept at the right times. Either it's the armor, or either it's a single unit just to get vision of what's going on where.
And if you look at the army supply, Drunken Boy is about 25 food ahead in army, but the strength of Estrella now feeling strong enough even to split his army up, and he's going to be able to catch both of these armies of Estrella, Drunken Boy at the same time. This is going to be insane. These Colossus going to just rip this apart as the Zealots come in the second time, but the second army of Drunken Boy over here is going to be a little too much for this small cut off of Estrella, so he's going to have to hurriedly pull back.
Drunken Boy now getting Ghost, which we've seen him use very effectively in his
Estrella really
TVP.
wanting to get a Storm off on this as he was sneaking that Templar up, but no, looks like he's going to lose. Oh, big Storm, and the Drunken Boy walks right into it.
Drunken Boy getting his Ghost count up a little bit later than he has in the previous TVP games, but we have seen him do some great things with Ghosts, really game-changing moves, so we'll have to see and if he's able to do similar things. EMP going off.
Yeah, his first 2 wins were against Protoss, and they were very strong games indeed. Definitely this game not seeming quite as strong, but he is putting a command center down on that gold expansion out there in the middle, but he's not going to be able to get to use it as a... Oh, huge Storm goes down on this small bio army coming into the natural. That Storm in itself is enough to pretty much take that out. Estrella now...
Estrella moving into the natural. Drunken Boy was not able to get his ramp up, or his wall up in time, and now there's a small strike force doing huge damage to this natural. Ghost trying to do something, gets an EMP off, blinks forward to kill the Ghost, and just now he's in the main, he's doing damage.
Estrella doing what Drunken Boy's usually been doing. He's got Drunken Boy split up on so many fronts here. It looks like the way his army's moving around, he looks like he's just not exactly sure what to do.
And these Ghosts are having a heck of a time. They're getting picked off as they come out. That's not what you like to see. And Zealots moving forward, taking out these aggressive bases. And Estrella is just very commanding here. I almost feel like Drunken Boy is showing a little bit of fatigue.
Yeah, you see the army movement of Drunken Boy. He just keeps going back and forth, as if he's pacing this corridor here as the Mothership Core gets taken out. But Drunken Boy is just he really looks like he's just like, oh, I don't know what to do. He's being still pulled back in his main. The Ghost Academy is about to go down.
It's gonna go. It did get off its the cloaking research before it died.
There are a lot of Ghosts here, so if Estrella can still be. I remember a particular game at an MLG where Grubby was just in a huge commanding lead in his game, but then he got all of his Templar out of position. 1 EMP took it out, and then the turn was able to win. So I mean, Estrella still has to be super careful once you get into the late game here with the Templar and EMPs that can quickly switch the pace of the game.
There are 13 ghosts on the map, not ghosts.
13 goats on the map?
3-3 is just about finishing up now. So, yep, it sure did finish. Now the cloaking goes down and sniping.
Yeah, you get some huge snipes off on those Templar. But
and
the Colossus are hugely out of position. These Vikings are going to be moving in.
3 Stalkers do blink back, trying to absorb a little bit, try and chase those Vikings off a little bit, but he is just forcefully chasing this army across the map.
As we see here, there are a few Zealots at the natural of Drunken Boy as well, causing some damage. It's little things like that that are going to really pull Estrella ahead because Estrella doesn't have anything to deal with it. But these Ghosts are moving out. Templar are a bit exposed. If he gets some snipes out, he could take those out. No. Oh, I'm on the edge of my seat, Gallegation.
Oh my gosh. Just great play. Those Ghosts are getting revealed, and they are taking heavy damage by those Colossus, but the Viking are right there. And they're going to do huge damage to these Colossus. I mean, there's not much that can deal with that.
Thing is, now Estrella moving into the food lead as Drunken Boy getting a little bit out of position. Both are in really terrible chokes here. The Colossus doing massive damage at the front of those
but all the Vikings go down, and that's huge.
Yeah, Estrella does have a observer there, so the cloak ghosts all on low health aren't gonna be able to do a ton. But Drunken Boy moving into the third base of Estrella, he's gonna be able to take this out. Estrella doesn't have anything to do with it. That base goes down. He's just gonna keep on moving, pull on back, kill as many probes as he can on the way out, but he doesn't want to get himself pinched off.
And that was 6 gateways that got unpowered by that pylon going down.
Drunken Boy doing a really good effort to try and get himself back into this. Now Estrella is still on 3 bases now with no gas being mined out of his now 3rd base, and a big drop coming into the main. He's going to drop and try and take out some tech here, but all the tech is on the other side. Colossus is going to come up and try and clean up this bio, all at low health, no energy on the medevac, so it's going to be an easy cleanup for Estrella.
There was a little bit of a misstep by Drunken Boy at the 9 o'clock base as he moved some ghosts in, trying to do some damage to the economy, but those cannons were there and did get cleaned up by Zealots. Now Zealots are moving into the 12 o'clock base, and there's nothing there except for SCVs.
Now he tries to mineral walk those SCVs through, but so much damage being dealt as they walk through the large group of Zealots. Going to try and take out the Ghost Academy again. And while he's doing this, Estrella is moving down to the middle of the map to take out this expansion here that he now knows about. The mules are mining those minerals at the gold patches. Oh, great job by Estrella, just pulling Drunken Boy in so many different directions with these counterattacks, and the thing is, he's not committing to any huge attacks, so he's just poking, and now Estrella is, getting his 4th base back up here. Once he gets set up, he's going to be in a huge commanding position. I mean, he is in a huge commanding position, he's just going to be in an even more commanding position. And now Drunken Boy trying to move out. Oh my gosh, that storm right in the middle of the bio. Money storm again. Oh, the positioning of Templar by Estrella is just incredible. He knows the positioning that Drunken Boy is going to be in, and those storms did so much damage to that Bioforce, and those medevacs are so low on energy. Only one has enough energy to really do a significant amount of healing.
And Estrella has vision where he needs to have it. He's got that observer at the top so that he can see the armor moving in just in time so he can move his High Templar in to get that storm off.
Yeah, if we look at units now, it's going to be 6 Colossus for Estrella. That's a huge number. 16 Templar. So Estrella moving into this huge lake. Oh, the Templar coming up on the back. Is he going to be able to get a storm off on this army? The positioning is... Oh my god, that storm! Oh, that's huge. Now the Colossus are going to come in and be able to do huge damage to these weakened units. The storm does so much damage.
And he stems the weakened units, making them even more weak. More storms going down. This is just huge damage. The Drunken Boy GG's.
Oh my gosh, that was such an incredible game. The positioning by Estrella caught Drunken Boy by I mean, it just looked like it scared the crap out of him, because Estrella was doing all the things that Drunken Boy has done all the games leading up to this.
Absolutely. He had the Zealot strike forces just everywhere they needed to be. He would move in one area, he'd move in another area, but the real game changer was the fact that he had those High Templar in really strategic positions, getting off storms that did damage to just the entire army. Huge damage. It was similar to what we saw from the Ghosts in the earlier Drunken Boy games against Protoss.
Yeah, Estrella, his just like sixth sense of where Drunken Boy's army was going to be was amazing, because all those times when he was sneaking those Templar around, he didn't have an observer there to know his army was there. He just figured that that's where it was going to be.
And no doubt he was studying the games that he saw from his teammates earlier on in the game, or earlier on in the match, and figuring out some of these timings of pushes and being prepared accordingly.
So Estrella is successfully able to keep StarCraft Ascension in it. Now it's 4-2. This is a best of 9, so it takes 5 to win. YMCMB has come ahead to get 4 wins in a row, but Estrella now bringing his team back into it, giving his team the momentum after Drunken Boy won 4 in a row. So, I mean, does that change things, in your opinion?
Well, it's hard to tell. We haven't really seen a whole lot of players come out of YMCMB just yet. It's just been Drunken Boy all the time. Drunken Boy now, Drunken Boy later. And so now we're seeing some of the other players, and I don't know what their strength is like. They could be just as strong as Drunken Boy. One has to imagine that Drunken Boy is one of their better players on their team, and that's why they sent him out so early. But